Mungkinkah streaming konser metal? Mungkin dong, dan pakai debit BCA. Jangan lupa aktivasi dulu.
Buat kamu mencari yang terbaik, fashion, gadget, sport, hobi, temukan semua di Blibli. Gratis ongkir, 100% orisinil, pengiriman cepat. Karena kamu nomor 1.
One of my dreams is definitely to create a scalable music ecosystem for Indonesia. Cultivating, because Indonesia has a tremendous amount of young talent, man. You know what I mean? And it's only gonna continue. The world is gonna keep going. There's gonna be more and more people inspired to make music. And I think that I really would love to create that hub, you know? And I think that where a brand can come in is to really come in and be partners with us. And you know, the beauty about being partners within all this, helping really support, is that they're gonna get the goodwill of all the success forever.
What's up?
How you doing?
Very good.
Nice shirt, man.
I know, man. I brought it here.
You look like 15 years younger wearing that shirt.
So Sean, let me tell you a story about how we first know you guys, right? So I was in a plane. I got a PPT file from our friend Spark Labs, our co-investors in 88, right? I was looking at, okay, what is this company called Rise, right? So it was not 88 back then. You guys started out as covering different kind of Asian cultures, and then suddenly you guys doing music, and then more and more music, right? What made you guys switch to become 88 Rising from Rise, and then now become more of a music company?
Well, first of all, it's an honor and pleasure, and thank God that you got that drive from Spark Labs, back in the day, because obviously, since that time we've been able to accomplish a lot of things together. So I want to start with, I'm very thankful for our relationship and our friendship. I'll start with the name, Rice to 88 Rising. Rice was always a code name. It's because I actually never really had much experience in forming a company, even from a incorporation standpoint or anything like that. I never did it before. So during the time, there was kind of a pressure to kind of hurry up, so we had to just come up with a name. So we're just like, look, the most Asian thing that we could possibly think of is Rice, with the understanding that obviously we're gonna change the name eventually. It's funny, we went through such a wild naming exploration because we wanted the name to have some connection to Asia, of course, but we didn't want it to be on the nose. We didn't want it to be too obvious. The number 88, is obviously a very lucky number in Asian culture. When it comes to rising, it's quite simple. We were coming up with all these words to follow 88, like 88 blank. Mm-hmm. And a friend of ours just said, yo, it should be 88 Rising because we'd rather be rising than falling. And it's like such a simple thing, right? It's like, of course, like that's everybody. So that's where the name came in. And to kind of double back to your question of how we changed from doing content to music, I think that it was just a natural progression. A lot of the people that were already working with 88 Rising, whether it be Brian or Keith or whomever, they're all musicians, and music is obviously an integral piece of my story and things that we're naturally interested in. And so it just kind of was like song by song, like one artist releases a song, another releases a song, and then another releases, and then it just kind of builds. And nothing is more of a lightning bolt in culture than when music works. Because music can be so far reaching. You upload something, and then if it goes everywhere, you then start really gaining awareness in a way that is much different than writing an article or putting out a video about something, because music, you feel something. And the artist whose song that is, that creation, that artist also represents something. And the thing that I think people quickly noticed about 88 Rising is that everybody was Asian. And not only Asian, but Asians from around the world, right? And that's, I think, another big piece that differentiated us from the beginning, because, you know, obviously there's a lot of Chinese music companies, there's a lot of Korean music companies, they're all domestic focused. And we were just like, you know, especially based in America, we were just like, it doesn't matter where you're from. You know, we just started to get a lot of attention in that way and a lot of appreciation, not only from Asian people, but from all people, you know, all races. Were just like, dude, this is amazing. They felt the energy, you know? And so, look, this is kind of a short condensed story, but being good at music, you know, we had that first burst of energy, but to continue it and to scale it and to constantly nurture our music growth, I was like very just like on this like very creative wave where I didn't really understand the business of music. But then I realized, man, we in order to keep that energy, we gotta kind of play ball sometimes with the music industry and understand how to kind of do things, you know? And so fast forward to now, after a lot of learnings and a lot of mistakes, you know, I think that, you know, we now have a great music business, and then also even further defined what music and what 88 Rising means for Asian people. I think that in the beginning it was just an idea, it was just a thought, it was just a dream and a wish for us to create something. Then we started to create it. Then we kind of got famous, right? Globally. It was something that nobody ever has seen. But then it's like, okay, well, how do we take that now? And how do we transition the energy from being excited to actually being responsible? Now we have a responsibility to our audience. We have a responsibility to ourselves to push ourselves creatively so that we can actually continue. When you're that small and you don't have an incredible infrastructure, like endless resources in music, it's tough. And we had to survive a lot of the times. But now I feel like based off of a lot of trial and error and bringing on really smart people to help. And I've realized that too. It's like, dude, like people, and you probably know this for your organization, it's like the people that are right around you are the most important people, man. Because you can't do it yourself, I can't do it myself. They all gotta be super capable on their own to take something from zero to the finish line.
Yeah, I hear you, man. So like, I first met you actually on a Zoom call or Google Meet or something like that, right? And then I came to your office a few months later. It was May 2018. I believe you guys were like about to launch the first Head and Clout album. And then ever since then, we've been working on like helping you guys launch part of the Rich Brian's Sailor album. You know, that was cool too. We were also like there on the Head and Clout and in LA too, you know. And that was such a very personal experience for me and my team, you know. Like, I wish like everybody else could have the same experience actually to see how it works.
Yeah, because you went to college in America, right?
Yeah.
And you know, I don't think you ever saw anything like that when you know.
Oh no.
Exist even.
Not in my lifetime back then. You know, I wouldn't have imagined like any Asian or Indonesian for that matter, right? Like living in Los Angeles, for example, having their music career.
Same, bro. Like, you know, and I'm from America, you know, like born and raised here all my life, and it's like, you know, look, before 88 Rising started, and you know, you got introduced to us from Spark Labs. I was like, you know, during that time was like laying the foundation of an idea. But
Yeah.
All the years before that, when you were in school, and like many years after that, and all these young Asian kids in America and people, dude, there's nothing. You know what I mean? Like Crazy Rich Asians just came out, what, like a couple years ago? Right? Before that, even in Hollywood, there's nothing. So if you can imagine like us when we started, dude, our stuff was brand new, bro. But I love that. I love being first.
Yeah.
I don't like the second is the same as last place to me. I like doing things first, so it's like when we did it, I basked in being like, you know, me and my homies doing it. You know what I mean? And you quickly realize that this is your destiny. You know what I mean? This is our destiny together. You know, I even like right here, like Jason Ano, like he's behind the camera. It's like, dude, like he was a second employee, and I remember calling him from like, dude, like my mom's house, you know, and like everybody just kind of joined in. You know what I mean? They was like, oh, this is different, and then you just keep adding all these passionate, you know, individuals, and like it's awesome, man. So like, you know, how did you feel when you saw like Nikki? You know, because I remember. I don't know if it was Indonesian Independence Day. Well, the second Head in the Clouds. How did you feel when you saw her on stage, you know, doing the whole stuff?
Oh yeah, that was very surprising actually. You know, I think a lot of people were in tears. Even like the night before I met Nikki, actually, she told me that I'm gonna do this. Okay, fine, right? But when I saw it, you know, that's a different thing, you know.
Indonesia's awareness, you know, has gone way up, I think, in terms of like globally, because of these two artists, to be honest. And that's the power of music, right? Because people are certainly aware of Indonesia, but they hear about it and it seems so far away, especially if you've never been there, right? And especially if you've never watched a video or had a reason to look into Indonesia. Right? There has to be a reason to look into anybody's culture through people and through heroes. And Rich Brian and Nikki and Stephanie, you know, all these young, amazing people who are very proud to be Indonesian, who grew up, you know, on the same, you know, with the same, you know, grew up in Indonesia, you know, went to school, learned and everything like that. And so through them, a lot of people really can see what an Indonesian person could be and be like. And you know, then you go even further to like the Rich Brian Kids video, and you actually see, you know, Indonesian culture and neighborhoods and the city.
Yes, the kids video is a very raw version of Jakarta. Actually, you know, if you live there and walks in the streets in different parts of the city, that feels like that actually. That's exactly how it feels. You know, I think that's also important for us to bring, not just Indonesians actually, but you know, from different parts of Asia too, right?
Totally.
And I think you guys have been doing that like for like Japan, right? It's great. Like some of the parts of the Korea also great. And I think we should be able to bring that story to other Asian countries too, right?
Absolutely, man.
In your own words, what is the mission of 88?
The mission of 88 is to, before, when we started, it was simply to create a community and a platform for Asian talent, especially Asian talent that was doing cool things that anybody can appreciate. Now, I think that mission is still very much there, but it's evolved to push ourselves very creatively to do things that are iconic. Because we've already created the platform. We've done that. Mission accomplished. Our mission is now a little bit different. To now it's where, because we've created a platform and because people know that this is like in our blood, right? Why we want to do this, why we're passionate about it. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you. Now it's just to make the most iconic things and moments in history and culture that will really just explode. that's all I could, because we only live once, man. You know what I mean? Like, when you do something really well and it resonates and reverberates around the world because it's so good, that's the thing that fuels us now. And that's the same thing with all the artists. It's not just me. All of us naturally feel this way. I don't have to tell Nikki, like, this is how I feel, because she's already there. You know what I mean? Joji, he's already there. And so for us together, we have aspirations and goals of what 88 Rising does as a collective, this power that we have when we're together. Every individual artist has their own individual dreams. And I think that all of these things combined, firing off like that, is gonna be something really special. Because look, we're here. You know, for whatever reason, myself and these 70, employees and these 20 artists and all these people together, the power and the strength of us and the next thing that we do is in our hands. And it's like, why we don't want to keep doing the same things. We want to do something great, and I think that we are going to be doing something. We're already working on things that I think are perfect for us to kind of bring to the world, man. So to sum it up right now, it's just to do iconic shit.
I can feel that, because I like the fact that you guys are always pushing the limit, trying to do something new. I was there when Brian was recording the Sailor album, and there was like a huge departure from what Brian used to be. Album is totally different, right? There's still Brian there, but it's different song, right? It's different sound, different feel too. I think Nikki's Moonchild album is the same thing too, She had a lot of things going right for her, but yet now she tries something new too. And do you see that happening? Like if our artist is in a different place, like trying out something new, would there be forces to don't do that,
Oh, would I say that to them?
Yeah.
No, I would never do that, because I want people to fully realize this, like Nikki and Brian too. It's like they really can do whatever they want. And that's the thing. We want 88 Rising to be the most artist-friendly, safe haven for artists. To be artists, we're not, that's the thing that I used to talk about quite a bit in our early days, is in terms of differentiating from a lot of these Asian companies, because they're all control freaks, or they're all manufactured, you know what I mean? It's like, it's all just executive produced by somebody, you know what I mean? And that's cool. I think that there's a lot of work that goes into that stuff, by the way, and a lot of precision and a lot of effort, blood, sweat, and tears. However, and that's totally cool, and I'm not dissing any of that. What I'm saying though is, for us, people should be able to feel like they can do whatever they want. And look, I obviously like it when people engage me creatively. You know what I mean? I check out if I feel not inspired, or I'm kind of not really part of the process, because I know that I have a lot to offer. Because I'm super creative, that's how this company got here, and I'm trying to get better with that all the time. So that's just how it runs. So
Sean, in the audience here, there are a lot of people who work with brands, who represent brands, right, in Indonesia. Tell us how companies and brands should work with 88, and how can we leverage it with each other,
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the exciting thing about a lot of forward-thinking brands that really want to align culturally and authentically, especially with music programs, that can really actually be beyond just traditional advertising. Traditional advertising, I see this a lot in Asia, where it's like, I'm gonna engage this KOL, they call them KOLs, right? So that's annoying too, by the way. I get annoyed about that. But it's like, I'm gonna engage this person, they're gonna do this many social media posts, this little thing. It's very rigid thinking. Where if they wanna come to us, it doesn't matter who you are, and do something explosive, When I say explosive, something that can actually organically go viral. Virality is not easy to achieve. Virality always stems from the idea, right? So that's where I love, that's where I love to play. And I think that a lot of brands, because 88rising has a philosophy of, we're not gonna go and do something with a brand that we wouldn't do naturally, right? If a brand wants to do something with us, the best thing to do is authentically partner with us so that we can actually impact the audience, so that we could provide value for the audience. A lot of times brands just wanna like plaster your face on a billboard. That's not providing value for the audience. You're not giving them anything. You're just standing next to something, right? And I just think, and by the way, while that could be a component of a campaign, you gotta have these layers and textures that authentically are working for the product or brand, the audience, and the artist. The brand should always have in mind, how am I helping the artist achieve their creative dreams versus just giving them a check? We get offered checks all the time, but the programs are lame, and that's why we don't do things with them, right? But if they step to us and they're like, they really wrap their heads around authentically working with our artists, working with 88rising, and helping our dreams come to life, they're the ones who are gonna benefit from it the most. Because we're gonna make sure of that, right? Globe is a really good example. Globe is a great living and breathing partnership that really speaks to this, because they're the Philippine #1 telecom.
Right.
Right? Tens of millions of subscribers, paid subscribers for their cell service. They are very Filipino, right? Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
They know the importance of music and the connectivity and how passionate their massive audience is, especially young people, are about music. They really realize though that the Philippines don't have any breakout stars, even domestically. I would say they have some people, domestically pop, but it's not like it should be. And so it's like they know what they're not good at. They're not gonna be able to market songs outside of the Philippines. We can. And it's like, for us, that's a beautiful partnership, because 88rising always wants to cultivate artists from wherever you're from these Asian countries, and give them a platform. I love that. We're trying to replicate that in as many ways as possible. And Globe's super forward thinking, man. It's like their CEO, Ernest, Joe, it was such an easy conversation. They're like, let's go. And I love that about that. That's the type of thing, when a brand can really understand the value of the potential of, like, imagine this. Imagine if one or two of these artists luckily flow through this Paradise Rising entity that we've created and actually become stars.
I'm not Filipino, right? But I can feel for them too, I can feel proud too when I saw that, the music that you guys are helping to make, and we've been discussing this for a while too, right? We need to have like something done in Philippines, right? Or else we're not Asian enough, although I'm already happy with Indonesia, but yeah, what you guys did with Globe, that was quite surprising for me, actually, right? And I think that's only the beginning, though. What you guys are doing now is only the beginning.
Only the beginning, and I think that, if any country, I think that, every country is different, like Globe, very forward-thinking brand, right? I think their hearts, it all starts with their hearts of like, yeah, this would be amazing if we can do this together and have some stars. Not even that, but just cultivate a community of artists, young artists. And I think that, like, even with what you and I have been discussing too, it's like, imagine if a brand came in like Globe did to really cultivate an Indonesian music entity. I think that one of my dreams is definitely to create a scalable music ecosystem for Indonesia. Cultivating, because Indonesia has a tremendous amount of young talent, man. You know what I mean? And it's only gonna continue. the world is gonna keep going. There's gonna be more and more people inspired to make music. And I think that I really would love to create that hub, you know, and I think that where a brand can come in is to really come in and be partners with us. And you know, the beauty about being partners within all this, helping really support, is that they're gonna get the goodwill of all the success forever. It's not just, here's my yearly campaign and I'm gonna do an advertising campaign and it's 3 months and then it's over. This thing is gonna keep going. And the content and the stories and the views and impression and all that stuff is all gonna be there. There's gonna be a wealth of that, but there's also gonna be a story. Like the reason as to why we're doing this, the story. And that's what I think cannot be replicated with any, you know, billboard campaign or digital advertising campaign or paying 20 KOLs to do anything, you know what I mean? So like, I think that that's really exciting and something that I really wanna continually evolve, especially with you.
So our team have been working on this program called Hello Indonesia. Can you tell us a bit about it?
Yeah, man, I think, look, Indonesia's massive. Indonesian culture, food, the vibrancy, amazing and fun. It's almost like 101 Indonesia. Like just what is Indonesia and what are the things about the people and the life and the culture? So the whole goal of this is to kind of bring in international guests to experience Indonesia through a variety of basically what is a digital content platform, video series. So people can come in, learn the language, people can come in, interact with music, people can come in and there'd be food programming and all these amazing global stars from around the world will come in and basically experience Indonesian culture through a variety of shows that we have, hosted by, of course, Indonesian people, Indonesian hosts. And I think that it's something that's gonna be really fun. It's gonna introduce people to Indonesian culture well. And you know, look, this is not anything new format-wise that other countries haven't done well. But I think that we're the ones to do it for Indonesia, man. Imagine Kevin Hart coming in and like trying a full range of, you know, different curries. You know what I mean? Like all these different things and like really getting introduced. It's an introduction to Indonesian culture. That's what this thing is. You know, I think that, and you know, the more people, you know, from anyone from like Kevin Hart to like a K-pop star, you know, we're gonna be able to facilitate a lot of these guests coming on this this program, and I think it's gonna be really awesome. Certainly, a lot of the artists from 88 Rising that are not Indonesian will participate at a baseline, but then our full community of musicians in our community, which is endless, I think is gonna serve for a lot of great content and a lot of laughs, a lot of education and information, and yeah, man, we're already stacked to the max on guests who want to participate. So
Right.
I think that's something that we'll probably launch actually in January of next year, just soft launch. And you know, another big piece of this is that the Hello Indonesia show is going to have a show, audio show on our Sirius XM channel, which is
Nice.
you know, our nationally syndicated radio station on Sirius in America. Yeah.
Yeah, I love Sirius XM when I'm driving in the US, right?
Yeah, man.
When we have a road trip.
Premium.
Yeah.
What are you excited about around 88 Rising?
I think really it's the fact that as of now, I don't see anyone close doing what we're doing. I felt like a lot of our artists is very original. I'm a musician, you know, amateur, not pro, right? But I can feel stuff, you know, when, you know, I think I have a good ear when it comes to
Yeah, man, you do.
listening stuff.
You do. You have a good ear.
And again, it's something that you can feel. Since the beginning, I knew like Indonesia has a lot of potential. It's just that there's no one else is helping us get launched, you know. Usually people with mixed background, like the US too, tends to be more creative. And that is the side of Indonesia that's always been there, you know. But it's not we just need a little bit of push from someone outside Indonesia. And that's what really gets me excited, actually. You know, so now that we have someone, you know, some partners, right, that can help us grow, right?
Right.
And like even our team right now is really working on scouting like the next, you know, Indonesian who can potentially become part of 88 too. You know?
I mean, dude, I think you found him. I'm not gonna mention his name, but I mean, I'm telling you, man, like I send him a beat on, you know, WhatsApp or whatever, and then I go to sleep because, you know, it's nighttime and then it's his daytime. And by the time I'm awake, he already sends it back to me and it's fully done. And it's not only done, it's amazing. And like I've played it for all these producers and artists, people that are like top of the game here. And everybody's like, who is that? Who is that? And then I tell them, you know, the story, and they're blown away because he has such sensibility that you can't teach, you cannot teach it, right?
Of course, no.
He has this sensibility musically of how to write and how to deliver over any type of beat in production. I think he's gonna be huge.
In my days when I went to school, right, I wouldn't have even thought of like, oh, people doing music, not going to university. You know? But I think like the experience that Brian, Nikki, Stephanie, right, and this kid, new kid, right, is going to go through is much more valuable, you know, than going to school. I don't think you can learn the stuff that they're experiencing at school.
Yeah, yeah.
Like industry,
yeah, man.
You know.
Same with Brian, right? And it goes back to your question of like, hey, you know, all these artists are evolving, like Brian and Nikki. What Brian comes with next, like his EP last time was just songs that he's recorded a long time ago. He just wanted to get some stuff out. That's not the thing the stuff that he's coming out with next year. It's just like he's gonna be here. The thing is, these guys are all gonna be here for a long time. The longevity is there because they're always gonna come with something fresh. And you know what? Another piece of that is they're with 88 Rising, they're with me. That's why too, because if these guys, and that's the difference, if any artist is with any major label or this, that, and the other, they're not gonna have the freedom to continually change if it doesn't work. There's no room for error anymore because these guys are all about market share. Market share, market share, market share. That's all they talk about, market share. The music industry, bro, has not changed. It has not evolved. But for us, because we're not, oh God, you know, we don't function in that mindset. We don't care about market share. We don't give a shit about that because that's not the game we're in. We're here for a different purpose. So if somebody releases a song or somebody releases an album, hypothetically, and it doesn't make a ton of money or whatever the case, it doesn't matter because we're a family, and everything that they do is a thing to the next step in their own evolution as an artist. And at a major label, they don't care about that. We have to create our own infrastructure so that we're not fully reliant on hits. What's the next hit? What's the next artist that makes a hit? Because then we're chasing our tail around and around, man, with no vision. It's just like, how do we get the next song? And that's a horrible life. The partnership that we have together, me and you, but then it's also the people that work around you, the great people that work around you.
Thank you.
And the great people that we have on our side. We're all a family. And like, for 88 Rising, you know, you and your team are so important to us and have been, you know, from the beginning. Especially when we were in jams, tight situations, you guys were always there to help us when nobody was. The thing that drives you guys, and it's very obvious, you know, throughout this whole history, is, you know, how important it is to continually support the Asian mission of all of this, right? Just how can we support 88 Rising to keep going, to have a chance to fulfill some of these dreams that we have. And so for that, I'm incredibly grateful. And I will say that your team, Andy and Danny, like, they're fantastic, man. You know what I mean? Like, I see them as just like, we're all 88 Rising, you know, together. So I think that is amazing. You always have been there, you know, when a lot of other people were not, you know what I'm saying? So like, that's really beautiful. And I think it makes a lot of, it's kind of like, it kind of worked out.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it kind of worked out, right? Like, you know, we're still here and we have a great future. We have Brian, Nikki, and Stephanie, and now this new superstar, hopefully, right? And then a lot of other things that we'll do together. And I think that, you know, you guys really helped us be, just continue, you know, especially when we were young. When we were a young company, you know, a couple of years ago, you know, you guys kept helping us, you know, so it's something that we'll always remember, you know what I mean? You guys are definitely a big part of this.
Mungkinkah ku bayar tanpa sentuhan?
Mungkin dong, hanya HP yang kau sentuh. Bayar belanja tinggal scan QR aja.
Manusia zaman dulu dan sekarang kebutuhannya berubah. Dengan jaringan baru 4.5G Axis yang terfiberisasi, kamu bebas berubah jadi apa yang kamu mau. Terus berubah, kenapa enggak?